how can we affirm somebody's dignity in this situation? How can we find their worth? How can we hold and protect that? That's often where people are drawn. Welcome to Tiny Pulpit Talks. Welcome back to Tiny Pulpit Talks.
Yeah.
I'm Reverend TJ. I'm your Minister of Community Care and Engagement.
And I am Reverend Beth Dana, your Minister of Faith Development.
It is 2025, and we are in our second season. I was not authorized to call it that, but that's what I'm calling it.
I think so. New year, new season.
Exactly. So this is the 2025 season. And I think it's only appropriate that we start where many of us are feeling, which is a mix of despondency and a little bit of fear and just a general
anxiety,
feeling of unease.
Yeah.
And still, I don't know, finding some kind of joy in life and meaning in certain ways. So that's it. Bye. We'll see you soon. No, we're just kidding. What we wanted to do today is really get into talking about the importance of community when we are preparing for and building resistance. And I don't just mean the kind of resistance where we sit where we are and we just deal with what's coming. We're talking about the kind of resistance where we might actually have to take actions to defend our own rights, to defend the rights of others. I mean, have you been thinking about this all these last few days?
I have been. I don't know that I've come to any, wise, grand conclusions, but I've been pondering it, that's for sure. Yeah. And we'll be preaching about this some on Sunday as well. The importance of community in times like this, both to hold us, but also to be kind of a launching place for action. Exactly.
And now, Unitarian Universalist communities have been a launching place for action since they've been around. In fact, the whole idea of Unitarian Universalism sort of started as an idea of action. And I just wanted to say a word about that, that we're a bit of a revolutionary faith in the first place. I mean, it's kind of in our DNA. Sometimes people ask, why are you all so much about justice? I mean, what do you say when people ask you that?
Well, I mean, some of the things that are foundational to us theologically are things like the inherent worth and dignity of every person, that every person is worthy of love, that you don't have to prove yourself to be saved or believe in a certain way. And that in itself is pretty revolutionary theologically. Yeah. And so if every person has inherent worth and dignity, that tells us something about how societies, communities, systems should be treating people, and what justice means, and what injustice means.
Yep. Yeah. And that is something that is so essential. Sometimes people say Unitarian Universalists don't have a theology. You can, go to, well, there's no such thing as hell for us, but you can go to wherever else if you think that, because when you actually place at the center of your theology the inherent worth and dignity of every person, it's just like any other theological scheme or work, is that informs all the other decisions we make.
Yep.
It informs the very basis of what we value, and it's right here with us, not somewhere else. We're not trying to get some points for something that's going on later, but I agree with you, that is the central founding principle, and one of the important things about the inherent worth and dignity of every person that I think can get lost sometimes in congregations like ours or in others that have tons of people that have done some amazing things, that have all kinds of degrees, is that none of that actually matters that much right now. Who you are, what you can do, and how you can be together in this community, that is also at the core of inherent worth and dignity. Yeah. Right? It doesn't have some kind of degree or some kind of
No. There's no study or preparation that you have to do to be a person of inherent worth and dignity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, because I think sometimes when people get involved or they think they have to take action, they think they have to be a lawyer or they think they have to be a politician. But that's just not true. And it's not even you can serve coffee to the lawyers and the politicians. Some of the most powerful work in social change has come from communities that are built up with a common purpose. What did Margaret Mead say? Never doubt.
Oh, never doubt the power of
a small
group of people.
Of dedicated individuals to change the world, for indeed it's all that ever has. Right?
Right.
And she was a sociologist, so we know. Now, granted, just because she was a sociologist doesn't mean she can't make great quotes. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. First, like, we've both done some community organizing in different ways, and we've been involved in activism. And before I was really even ordained, I was organizing people around things in Portland, Oregon, around things in other places. You grew up in Unitarian Universalism. What are some of the things you got involved with as a congregant, as a child?
Interestingly, one of the things that really caught my attention and my passion in high school was prison reform.
Really?
I learned about the U.S. prison system and was just so shocked at it.
Right.
And, as a high schooler, I didn't feel like there was a ton I could do, but what I did feel like I could do at that time was educate.
Yeah.
And to share, to learn as much as I could about the situation and to share that with others.
Yep.
Because a lot of people don't know the magnitude.
You said I think it is one of the things that's been on my mind is that even taking 20 to 30 minutes to really learn about something is so powerful. You start to untangle the knot that oppressors and that people in power want you to think is there.
Right.
But when you start pulling at those threads and deciding which thread it is you want to follow, oftentimes it's a person where we, just like our theology, will look for how can we affirm somebody's dignity in this situation? How can we find their worth? How can we hold and protect that? That's often where people are drawn. And that is what forms the core of many of the most important social movements in history. Right. Whether it's Gandhi's Salt March, whether it's King's work, whether it's even some of Thoreau's ideas, is like the people that we love and the people around us have to form the center of this work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why community is a launching place for resistance.
It is. And we need to say one of the most important things I think about resistance is that you also have to take care of yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Part of resistance is care of yourself and others. I think it can get so lost in, I have always said that the first administration like this, and it's almost that people want to throw so many things at you, they want you to not be able to pay attention. People want you to glom on to every little thing. And it ain't just, I'm not getting into political sides or whatever. Professional politicians do this.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to pause, or I need to pause and really remember, what is it that I'm drawn to? What is my passion? I'm going to stay on that. And I've just got to let other people do the other things.
Right. Because when there's a lot coming at you, one, you could either feel so overwhelmed that you just are frozen and can't do anything, or you try to do everything and then get totally burnt out.
Yeah.
And there's got to be, that neither of those is sustainable or helpful.
No. And worse than that, I think, and I know you can just put it in the comments, you think I'm paranoid. I think some people have figured out that weaponizing others' anxiety, weaponizing the stuckness that they know can happen. I actually think for some people, using social media in that way and manipulating media in that way to give you an anxious response, to give you a stuck response, it's part of the plan.
Yeah.
And part of resistance is saying no to that plan.
Resist the plan.
Resist that plan. Resist the lies.
Yeah.
We don't want to take too long on this. This isn't like fun stuff to do, but I just want to remind people that this church, this faith, your ministers are dipped in this water. Like, this is what we do. It's what we come from. And there's so many people at this church that want to support you, are ready to organize, are organizing. And we want to hear from you what's on your minds. We want to hear if someone's in danger, or if you're worried about something. We've already had congregants volunteer to be plaintiffs in class action. I mean, people are getting ready.
They're ready.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's one of the things we just need you all to hear right now, I think. Anything else you want to tell the folks?
Yeah. Well, and like you said, just, try to tune out some of the fire hose and think about, who you are and what you have to offer, and where you can put that to work right now in a way that feels sustainable for you and in a way that contributes to the cause.
And I will end with this. If your answer to all this is you have to rewatch the British Baking Show from beginning to end, or if you need to start RuPaul's Drag Race at season 1 and go through 17 and then do All Stars, I get it.
Yep.
And you know what?
Do that too.
Totally acceptable. You do what you have to do, and we will be here to help you. Keep your ears peeled, keep your eyes peeled. We love you, and we are sending you all our best.
Yep.
So that's it. If you have questions or comments, we want to hear from you. Just reach out or put them down below. Subscribe or like us, and we'll be coming at you more with some of these things. And until then, we'll see you on Sunday from Tiny Pulpit Talks. Thanks.